Well, hello, General Hospital Daily Recap fans. Today's daily recap is for Friday, April the 18th, 2025. Got a little cough drop in here because I'm trying to get through this, y'all. Anyway, Sasha has a sonogram, and Jason is there, and everything looks good with the baby. And when it was over, she tells Jason, I'm so happy, that you came. And he goes, yeah, it's pretty cool. And he goes, listen, would you mind if I send Michael one of these sonogram pictures? And she looked at him, she says, why would you ask that? And when she said that, I thought, girl, what planet you living on? Because your last sonogram, do you want to know what you said? Jason, can you do me a favor? Can you get this picture to Michael so he could see the baby? And Jason said, I'll make it happen. So, what do you mean, Sasha? Why would you say that? So he said, well, you wanted me to send the last sonogram picture to him. He would love to see the progress. He would love to know that you and the baby are healthy. He said, I think that actually help with his recovery, right? And she says, yeah, but I don't want to send the wrong message. If I don't want to send him every sonogram picture because then he'll think that I want him in the baby's life. Hmm. Well, you know what, Sasha? You do want somebody in your baby's life. See, you don't have a problem with fake baby daddy being in the baby's life, coming to see sonograms. That ain't Jason's kid. Why would he care? Right? You want fake baby daddy. Oh, the baby kicked. Oh, give me your hand. Oh, you feel that? Come on now. So you do want somebody, if not anybody, in the life of you and your baby, Sasha. Idiot. So she says, I'll think about it. He goes, fine. Okay. Just let me know. So Jason then goes to deception. And their numbers, their new cream is flying off the shelves. I mean, they can't keep it in stock. Matter of fact, they looking for the next shipment from Jen Sidwell. Anybody with half a brain would never want their eggs, excuse me, in one basket. Never. They should have be looking for a alternate supplier. That's business 101. Cosmetics 101. Supply and demand 101. So Jason comes in. Brooklyn and Maxie are in the office. Lucy had already left. They went over the numbers real quick. Lucy jumps up because we knew she was going to Spoon Island. Well, Jason walks in after Lucy's gone, and why did Jason say he was there? Goodness, I can't remember, y'all. But anyway, he was looking for Sonny sent him. That's why he was there, because they're like, uh, they I think they said Sasha's not here. Well, Sasha wouldn't have been there. They said something, and he go, and they're like, why are you here? He said because Sonny sent me. He wanted you to know that one of your employees hasn't been truthful. And they're like, who? And he's like, Natalia Ramirez. And they looked. He said, Jen Sidwell is her ex husband. And they both were like, wait, what? See, I'm going to have to cut this short, everybody. But anyway, what? And Maxie's like, okay, that's it. That's it. We're going to have to end his contract because, and we're going to have to seriously have a talk with Natalia. Because, see, some things are just not adding up. They're not right here. And I've had that feeling. So Jason said, well, I just wanted to let you know. Okay. And so Maxie says, but I mean, Sidwell, he's he's okay. And Jason said, you had all kind of I don't know why you entered into contract with him. You had all kind of red flags. And she said, well, Sasha vouched for him. And Jason said, wait, what? Yeah, she says that it was a big misunderstanding. That actually, when he kidnapped her, it was all Holly's fault, and it was a big misunderstanding. So, when she told us that, it was like, okay. So he looks and he says, I gotta go. And he leaves. And I said, oh, he's gonna jam up Sasha. He sure does. He gets home and Sasha jumps up because she's sitting on the couch that's in there's another eating area they have in the house. The one that has that fake house next door, that there are no houses next door at the Quartermains. So she goes, Jason, I decided it's okay for you to send Michael a picture of the baby. And he just looked at her. And she's like, what's wrong? Because she figured he'd be excited, right? And he's just looking at her. He goes, why did you sell out deception for Sidwell? Hmm. And she's just looking, right? Now watch. She's gonna say, because I'm conning him. He offered me money. Now, in the real world, everybody, is that a con? No, that's not a con. No, he paid you to lie, chick. He paid you to lie and deceive your friends. Hmm. I don't know how she gonna try to spin that to Jason, because Jason's gonna look at her and say, I offered to give you money to set you up in any place you wanted, and you would not have had to sell out your friends. Mm, right? We'll see the rest of that conversation tomorrow. Jen's has Jordan over to Spoon Island, and she's looking over the contract. The money's supposed to be like out of this world lucrative. Um, he told her you could have any title you want: CEO, CFO, CIO, CIA. I mean, anything you want. CTO. Okay, you name it. I don't care. I just need you to do my bidding. She says, and what is your bidding? He says, well, one of the things, Congressman Quartermain, either he's still calling him Quartermain. I think he's still saying Quartermain. Or he may have said Kane, because Jordan doesn't call him Congressman Quartermain. So he may have said Kane. And she says, yeah, I know him. I want you to keep an eye on him for me. And she said, why would I need to keep an eye on Congressman Kane? She goes, and I'm going to tell you right now, I know him, and it is like volatile between the two of us. So Jen's pretty much said, I'm sure you've been in stickier situations. He says, I need to know what he's doing. There'll be certain issues I need you to smooth out. And pretty much, I'm a demanding boss. You're gonna work long hours for that amount of money, and you're not really gonna have time for a personal life. And she said, "What personal life?" And he's like, "Okay." And in my mind, I'm thinking, sorry, everybody, there isn't enough money in that contract for you to tell me, oh, forget about a personal life because you're gonna live, eat, breathe, sleep when I tell you to. That not enough money in the world for that. So anyway, um, Lucy just waltzes in. Your butler. Oh, Jordan, what are you doing here? And Jens kind of looks at her like, you don't just come in, Lucy, and ask questions of all my meeting associates. And Jordan says, no, Jen says, we're in a meeting, Lucy. So she says, yeah, I could see that. And she said something else. Oh, she says, oh, and Jordan, I saw that you resigned from the mayor's office. I'm sorry to hear that. She just looks at her. And so Lucy said, but again, what business do you have with Mr. Sidwell here? And Jordan just looks at her like, for one, that's a personal question. I don't answer your questions, Lucy. So Jen Sidwell says she's accepting a job from me. And Jordan said, I have not accepted yet. And he looked at her, he said, you will, right? So Lucy's like, oh, okay. So Jordan said, because she told him before Lucy got there, I'm going to have my lawyer look it over and get back to you, right? So she leaves, and Lucy says, I'm here to tell you. He says, oh, how fantastic. Your products are flying off the shelves. Mm-hmm. I know. She goes, yes, yes. And she took one out, the sample or one of the finished products out of her purse. She gave it to him. She says, not that your skin needs it, it's flawless. So he takes it and he says, she goes, as a matter of fact, we're looking forward to your our next shipment from you. When will that be? And he goes, we'll have to work on that. And so she goes, she says, oh, well, on that note, Natalia Ramirez is on her way. And Jen Sidwell said, good, excellent. Great to have the input from your CEO. She has always been really good with numbers. And Lucy looks, she goes, she's always been. I'm sorry, did you two know each other? And he says, yes, she's my ex wife. And Lucy was like, he goes, I thought she told you. And Lucy's like, no, she didn't tell me. No, she didn't. Well, Lucy, you think the moon, Sidwell hung the moon. So what difference would it have made? Right? So Natalia comes in and Lucy looks at her and she goes, why didn't you tell me that Jen's here is your ex-husband? And Natalia looked at him like, why did you say that? And he looked at her and he goes, well, Lucy, it was years and years and years ago. Doesn't mean anything. Long time ago, past tense. So Lucy says, well, it actually means something to us because She's supposed to, tell us all the important things. And even in the meeting, she still didn't say anything. And so Jen says, well, he says, but she does a good job. So, everything will be okay. That's old stuff. You know how he gets with and so Lucy leaves. Natalia's still there. And she says, why did you tell her? And he said, well, bottom line, why didn't you? You had plenty of time. And she says, he goes, and from what I'm understanding, you're telling other people, meaning Sonny, right? And she said, "Yeah, I told Sonny Corinthos because he saw the way I was acting around you, and he saw me having lunch with Marco." He goes, oh, which by the way didn't go very well. And she said something about they used to be acquaintances. He goes, what do you mean used to? She goes, Sonny has cut all ties with me. And Jen says, oh, well, okay. Hmm. Then it looks like I'm the only person that can put in a good word for you. She says, as if you would. He goes, if the terms were right, I would see what I could do. He said, because something tells me Sonny Corinthos is not going to want you to be CFO and over his money if he's cutting ties with you, which Sonny didn't say that, but I sure wouldn't, right? But Sonny is a businessman. She's supposed to be good with numbers and is doing good with his money, but see, yeah, things are getting a little sticky right now. So he says, and speaking of Marco, uh, I heard your lunch, ooh, didn't go well at all. And she just looked at him. He says, I could help you there as long as I get a little something in return. I could put in a good word for you with Marco. And now she's looking like, that's what I would really like, right? But what cost? And he goes, but I would just need some information. Some information that would, you know, that I would consider valuable. She's like what? He goes, oh, you recently went to LA. She said, that was a business trip. She goes, he said, you and Sonny went on a business trip and went to LA. She goes, that was a business trip. He said, a business trip that sent you to the a cardiologist office. And she goes, you're having me followed? And he said, oh, I keep tabs. But what were you doing in the cardiologist office? And she's hesitating. And he goes, remember, I could put in a good word at deception, good word with Marco. Sonny has a heart problem and he needs heart surgery. Oh, that's all it took. She spilled Sonny's personal business. There we go. There you have it. And I think she may have even said next week he's having a heart. I don't know. I may be mixing the conversation with Sonny and Carly. She may not have said next week, but I kind of think she did. In Comment Corner Land, go ahead and put for, anybody reading the comments if she said next week or just he has to have heart surgery. So Sonny takes Donna home. Donna's so cute. She's talking to Carly, telling them how um, Rocco's having a debate and everybody's going but daddy. Everybody in the family's going but daddy. And I want to go. She goes, Mommy, can you take me? She goes, well, I won't be able to. And so Sonny says, but listen, Donna, Dante is taping the whole thing, honey. One night next week, after the debate, you and I are going to get together and watch it together, okay? She goes, oh, I like that, Daddy. And so Cardi says, listen, Donna, Pilar is waiting for you upstairs. She's going to get you ready and take you to school. And she goes, okay, Mommy. So Carly brings up, of course, what Felicia said. She talks to Sonny about the peers. No, first she says, why aren't you going to Rocco's recital? I mean, debate. And he says, because he asked me not to. She says, wait, what? Because of Laura. She goes, oh, okay. Because of that whole press conference situation. He says, and this is Rocco's event. And I do not want to take center stage from it. And so she goes, I could understand that. And then she says, but speaking of the press conference, Sonny, Felicia wanted me to talk to you. Felicia and Mac. He said, why? She said, because they're fearing Laura's connection with you is she's going to lose, her mayorship. And he goes, I, look, the people voted her in. And she goes, yeah, but her continued association with you could cost her that. And so, um, what I'm saying to you, Sonny, is don't fight her over the peers. And he said, why wouldn't I? He says, Carly, if I just roll over and let them try to take my peers, then I'm going to appear weak. And you, of all people, know the consequences of appearing weak in this business. And she looked at him. She says, I know oh too well. He said, so absolutely, I'm going to have to fight for my peers. So she said, but Sonny, okay, fighting for your peers. But how do you think you're going to look if you lose? And he said, I don't plan on losing. But in the real world, if a city is invoking eminent domain, that's a noble loss because it's rare, can be done. And Killer Miller, if anybody could, is Killer Miller, could stop it. But that's very, very hard to stop. And that's why Diane told him, ooh, I gotta tell you, my friend, you know? So, and then he says, listen, I am going to be going away, to next week to LA, or he leads in some kind of way. And she goes, well, why? He said, because I have to have surgery, kind of surgery on my heart. And she looked at him. She said, wait, what? Yeah, from, getting shot there years ago. And I have to have surgery. And so she goes, who else knows about your heart condition? He said, Laura knows, Christina knows, Dante knows, Isaiah Gannon knows because he's been treating me. Want to know the one person he didn't say knows is Natalia. I don't know why he didn't say Natalia knows, because Natalia also knows. Carly did something very uncharacteristic. She didn't get pissed off at all these people knowing about it, and she didn't. Only thing she said is, why'd you wait so long to tell me? He said, well, because I had things that I needed to clear up before I go do this. And she didn't blow up out. She just asked him, why it take so long to tell me? And when he gave her answer, and so he goes, but I'm going to get this done. And then when I come back, we could talk about the whole espionage, the peer, the whole project. She said, no, you won't. No, we won't. And he goes, why? What are you talking about? She goes, oh, because I'm going with you to LA and I'm going to be by your side every step of the way. And he looks at her. So we'll see what he tells her tomorrow. But see, now that Natalia's not going, he needs to let Carly go. He 100% needs to let Carly go. I mean, let's say, come on, yeah, you can come. Because I'm going to tell you, now that Natalia opened her mouth and told Jens is going to get to the surgeon and he's going to bribe him or threaten to bribe him, kidnap a family member for him to botch the surgery. Mm-hmm. I was hoping, well, it's next Friday. Let's hope it doesn't get that far. Let's hope something critical happens next week, which causes Sonny to have a major heart attack and have to be the first patient, excuse me, the first patient in the cardiac unit, right? I'm hoping that's what happens. And then Jordan ends up telling Isaiah at the end that she's accepting the job from Jen Sidwell, and Isaiah was like, why on earth would you do that? So we'll finish hearing the rest of that conversation tomorrow as well. Well, that's it, everybody. My cough is getting worse. I'll be back tomorrow. Oh no, tomorrow's Saturday. I'm gonna really rest my voice so that when we do the live stream, the YouTube live, remember, it is tomorrow, April 19th, 5 p.m. Pacific time, which is 7 p.m. Central time, 8 p.m. Eastern time. We will be talking about General Hospital live. So I look forward to seeing you there.